just we're going to have to dig our way out of it. And that's just the way football works sometimes. And just got to tighten some things up. Glad we came back. Defense made a big play for us before the end of half, and that got us, ignited a little bit. And then we made some plays in the third quarter, made some good plays in the fourth quarter. So started the game well, finished the game well. We just, that middle part, we got to figure out how to play 60 minutes well.
Hey, Tom, obviously the downfield passing opened up in the second half. It seemed like it was mostly dump-offs there in the first half when you were able to get people. Anything change, or is that something they did defensively that set things up for you in the second half?
Yeah, we got to do a good job, forcing them to cover everything. And, the passing got a little compressed. And then, we made some plays down the field, and that opened some things up. So it's you got to make them defend everything. And that was just a good way for us to do some things there in the second half, and we're going to have to keep doing it. We're 25% of the way through, so it's not early anymore. We have a decent sample size. We got to figure out what we're good at, what we're not good at, and keep working to get better. And the guys that haven't had much of a role got to find a way to find a role for themselves, and the guys that have got to keep improving it and increasing it. And I know we have a lot of playmakers out there, but we got to continue to gain trust in one another, become more dependable and consistent, and ultimately play well for 60 minutes and see what it looks like if we can do that.
They played poorly, and it was just a show of character. What the second half was going to show, I can honestly say, had this been last year, we'd have got our ass beat by 20. This team has a ton of character and playmakers, and we started making plays, and you can see when we don't beat ourselves, we're going to be a tough team to beat.
Why didn't he just say, I really, really have no regard for Jameis Winston as a quarterback? Because that's what Bruce Arians was saying. Because that's the big difference between last year and this year. And, yeah, last year they wouldn't have come back from 17 points down. This year they have a guy who never gives up. He came back from 28-3 down in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. And, Chris, this is where a guy like Tom Brady, even at age 43, is a difference maker for a team, because he's going to make everyone in the locker room and everyone in the building and everyone connected to the franchise in any way, shape, or form believe that anything can be accomplished no matter how far behind they fall.
Yeah, no, you're right. Everything you said there. First off, he's still throwing the ball at a very high level, as we see. Pushing the ball down the field, making plays that way. And, yeah, he might not be the guy that can carry a football team anymore, but he's a guy that can maximize when you have a team set up the way Tampa is set up, which is very talented. Offensive line getting better. We're seeing running back coming along. We know the wide receivers and tight end play are, redonkulously good, okay? The defensive line is one of the best in football. So he's really perfect for down there. He really is. And then what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball, like Byron Leftwich, Bruce Arians, I think they deserve a lot of credit. Mike, you heard me during the game yesterday, I'm sure, because the one thing I see a lot of Tom Brady in the offense. I do. A lot of the New England, spread him out, short passes, and that's the formula they've kind of used the last few weeks. Spread him out, short passes, get Tom in a rhythm, then bring in 2 tight ends, maybe 3, get the defense to have to play kind of a simple, we might have to stop the run type of defense, and we can't blitz because we're worried about that. That's usually how defenses play those formations. And then that's when Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich take their shots with Brady, knowing, we can keep a tight end and get an extra guy to block. This will keep Brady comfortable and feeling good in the pocket and give him that aggressive frame of mind. And I think that's slowly what I'm seeing a little bit in Tampa. As Brady is starting to get more and more aggressive. The things that I had issues with him last year, now I think he's starting to go, wait, okay, they're protecting me. I understand what, the offensive game plan is every week, and it's leading to him making some big plays down the field to O.J. Howard and, of course, Mike Evans and company.
5 touchdown passes yesterday, and he shrugged off the pick 6. And it's funny, Chris, because we were watching the games. I'm here in West Virginia, but I've got a live link with everyone in Connecticut, and you were talking about how Tom Brady knows the Seattle beaters, the plays that can beat that cover 3 defense, and that's something he's done time and again. And then, it's a pick 6 to the Chargers out route. He should just quit throwing the out routes like that. That's where he gets into trouble with the pick 6s. But you know what? Hey, I threw a pick 6 in the Super Bowl,
right,
and we came back and won.
That's right.
So what? Take a pick 6. You're going to get one, but I'm still going to take care of business. That's the value. That's and here we are. They lost to the Saints week 1, and the sky was falling. And, we see that every year. You lose week 1 and the sky's falling. Well, for the Bucs, for the Colts, and the Browns, the sky didn't fall. They're all undefeated since week 1, and the Buccaneers are looking pretty damn good right now, and Tom Brady is one of the big reasons why. And I don't want to take anything away from Mike Evans, who gutted through an injury and had 120-plus receiving yards. They're going to have to get it done with O.J. Howard going forward. They believe he's got a ruptured Achilles tendon. So, wait, we have Gronk. Now, whether or not Gronk ever gets back to being the guy he was is a different story, but they just find a way. They never give up. They never give in, and they find a way, and that was what they were lacking last year. And they were 7-9 lacking that last year.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. 7-9 last year, where we all saw talent, and we went, man, I mean, they could get in the playoffs. And, they can overwhelm you with their defensive line. When they have Sue, Vita Vea, JPP, Shaquille Barrett, and they'll even bring Vernon Golston in sometimes just to get 5 one-on-ones, and one of those matchups is going to win or dominate. You can guarantee it. The linebackers are special in Levante David and Devin White. And then, we're seeing a young secondary kind of starting to blossom in front of us a little bit, too, in some ways. I mean, they're still living up some big plays, but we've seen them make some plays the last few weeks, too. But, you talk about Brady, the out routes and things like that. I'll take it right now if I'm a Tampa fan, and I am, and a Brady fan and everything like that. They're more dangerous like this. Keep pushing the ball around the field, Tom. Okay, you might throw an interception, but look how much more dangerous of a quarterback he is this year as compared to last year, because he's making defenses, like he said in that press conference, defend the whole field. He's not looking for, where's Julian Edelman for a 5-yard throw? Where's the back? He's got talent around him, and I think he's buying into what he's seeing, and I think that's really been helping. And as we've talked all along, his arm has not really declined much, as we're all witnessing. Brady, in some ways, might be overrated in Chris Sims' eyes for a lot of things, but in Chris Sims' eyes, he's very underrated for some of his physical tools, and his arm is special that way. Now, can I just say one more thing to just change the subject just a little? That play call before the half was over by the Chargers was so stupid. They were up 24-7. The Bucs had one timeout. Kneel on the freaking ball and go in 24-7. I mean, that's the coach's fault. That's Anthony Lynn's fault. What are you doing? They had the Bucs on the ropes, and they gave Brady the ball at the 5-yard line to jumpstart the team and go in feeling good when they were going to go in feeling like crap. That was the dumbest play of the day, and I have to blame the head coach for not seeing that with a young running back and quarterback and a team that only has one timeout. Kneel on it, move on.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and it's a shame. Anytime you're up 17 points in this league, in past years you just assume you're going to win. It's a major disaster if you lose. What we've seen, though, this year especially, and I saw a note from the NFL last night, the Patriots, by coming from 17 points behind, they are they join a string that goes back every week of the season. All 4 weeks, there's been a team that's come from 16 or more from behind to win a game.
You meant the Bucs? You didn't mean the Patriots, right?
I mean by the Bucs. I see Tom Brady.
Come on, get your crap straight. Brady's on the Bucs now,
I see Tom Brady,
come on.
and I think the Patriots. But anyway,
you had me all confused. I was like, wait, the Patriots?
I had myself all confused. Anyway, every week this season, a team has been 16 or more points behind and has come back and won. That's never happened before. So with all this scoring that we're seeing now, this is one of the byproducts. No lead is safe, and you can't screw around, even if you're up 24-7. To your point, like the Chargers were. You got to get into the locker room 24-7, and you better hope you can hold it in the second half, because I have a feeling even if they wouldn't have given him the gift at the end of the half.
Yeah, it was going to be close anyways.
The Patriots are still going to, the Brady Buccaneers are still going to figure out.
The Tampa
Brady
Brady
are still going to figure out what to do.
The Brady-neers. I mean, yeah. No, but you're right. I felt the same way, too. You felt like, okay, even they going 24-7, you just went, well, that could be a big enough cushion to make this really interesting in the fourth quarter. I did feel that way as well. But when it got to 24-14, you went, oh, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. But, Mike, I think the offensive point you bring up first off, I mean, we're seeing it. And it's an offensive year. They have a clear advantage right now. Defenses are struggling in all shapes and forms as far as they're not as complex right now, because I think it's still early in the football life of a defense. You're seeing that they didn't get to practice a whole lot. And then the other thing, too, with these comebacks and things, crowd noise. Crowd noise is making a difference, and it's increased the offense's advantage because the defensive line in no moment ever has an advantage anymore. And in those moments where we go, oh, the away team's on the road and they're down by 5 or 7 or anything like that, there's just no crowd noise to let the defense maybe shut it out, do things like that, end the game. But, yeah, it does seem like the teams with good quarterbacks and high-powered offenses are really at an advantage this year.
That's got to be a huge factor, though. Think about the Bills up 28-3, and they have no fans there last week against the Rams to clamp down on the defense, and the next thing you know, the Rams are ahead. But these scores, they're obscene. I love it, though. This is what I've been wanting. I want the college football-type scores, 37-28, 31-21, 33-25, 49-30. I'm not even skipping any. I'm looking at all the numbers here. The only game that stands out, there are two that stand out as not high scoring, Rams-Giants 17-9, Colts-Bears 19-11. Every other game, both teams were in the 20s, and in a lot of them, both teams were in the 30s or close to it, and that makes for more exciting football. The Chargers have an exciting football team because they have a very good quarterback.
Man,
Justin Herbert, statistically, he was better than Tom Brady yesterday. He completed 20 of 25 passes, and he averaged 11.6 yards per attempt, which is ridiculous. And here's some of the people involved in yesterday's game praising the rookie who looks like he's got a very bright future.
I told Anthony after the game, I said, you got a great one. You know, that retreating play, that looked like Mahomes, where we had an all-out blitz, and he just kept retreating and throwing a dime down the field. And, for rookies to make plays like that, they're special.
He was very impressive today, and he played great. Our defense played great all year. And he hung in there, made a lot of good throws. They hit us on some big plays. We blitzed him a little bit, and he just stood in there and took it. He's got, obviously, all the ability. He's got a great arm and moves really well. The team believes in him. So he's off to a great start.
It was prior to last season, and he just called, just wanted to reach out. He wanted to say good luck, and I returned the message and just said thanks for reaching out. And to hear from a hero like that was really cool.
Did it kind of blow you away? You obviously didn't recognize the number. Were you shocked that it was Tom Brady?
Well, I think he called me at 4 a.m. Pacific time, so I wasn't up yet. And so I let it ring, and I probably should have answered it had I known it was him.
You would think a guy who grew up in California would be sensitive to the whole Eastern time, Pacific time. I mean, that's one thing you always factor in. I factor in the people I know in California.
It's a vet move.
Even if it's a text, like I'm not going to send a text at 7:43 in the morning to somebody who I know lives in California because it's 4:43, unless it's John Gruden. Not that I would ever text him, but or that he would ever accept it. I'm sure I'm blocked on his phone and everything else. But yeah, come on, Tom.
It's
don't
a vet
mess
move
with the kid like that.
It's a vet move, Mike. He knew what he was doing. He was, I don't want to get in a damn conversation with this kid. I got to play him in week 4. I want to make sure I beat his butt. I want to say something nice to him and encouraging with him. So he called at 4 a.m. He goes, he won't answer. I won't have to get in a conversation. I'll leave a nice voice message. He'll hear my voice. It's respectful. And then they move on. It was a perfect move by Tom. Well done. Well done, Mr. Brady.
Well, one of the reasons he should be glad he's not on the Patriots, he doesn't have to worry about crossing paths with Justin Herbert in the postseason or as often in the regular season as he will as a member of the Buccaneers. He'll probably never play Justin Herbert again unless they end up crossing paths in the Super Bowl.
But he's insane
between now and the end of Brady's career. Oh, he's great. And we saw it against the Chiefs. And then last week, it was like, what the hell? Where's Justin Herbert? What's going on? And then yesterday, he looked even better than he did against the Chiefs.
He did. Well, you see first off, the size of the human being. I think that's the first thing that always jumps out to me. I mean, he has such stature there. And you heard Arians and Brady talking about, we tried to blitz him. That was after they kind of sat back at first and went, I don't know if this guy can kind of dissect us and read defenses. Let's make him do that. And he did that well. And I think then they went, okay, well, let's change it up here because that's not working. Let's blitz and see if the kid can handle the blitz. And he just, as you could even see in the press conference, there's just not much that phases him. There's not. He has just that way about him. Life's easy for Justin Herbert, and he doesn't seem to ever be panicked. And then, they blitz him. And like Arian said, that's like Mahomes-type throws. I mean, the 2 bombs he threw to Guyton, and then I can't remember the other one, to Johnson down the middle, believe. But the Guyton post corner down in the end zone, I mean, that ball must have traveled 60-something yards in the air. You know, and then, of course, the one Bruce Arians is talking about fading away like that, that is special. He can make game-changing, you know, momentum-changing type of throws, let alone he can do that with his feet too. I mean, from the looks of things, just from this last year, I mean, Burrow, Justin Herbert have special futures. Herbert has a real special future. We can't forget about him because we talk about Burrow a lot. But, yeah, I'm really impressed with the talent of Justin Herbert at this point.
And all of that makes me want to see Tua. When will we see Tua Tagovailoa, who was caught between Burrow at number 1 and Herbert at number 6, Tua, the 5th overall pick in the draft. And once Fitzmagic becomes Fitztragic again, I think that's when we'll see Tua.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.